nation that could have so many disagreements on so many things, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, unites the Ugandan nation. They could rely on the returning Yunus Sentamu, the striker that last played for the national team, who had clashes and has handled a couple of very fearsome plays out in the Ghanaian league, as well as in the CAF Champions League. He's the man right at the helm of this particular one. And Issa Sai from Senegal with Letitia Antonella Bien are on the VAR. As well as in the CAF Champions League. He's the man right at the helm of this particular one. And Issa Sai from Senegal with Letitia Antonella Bien are on the VAR. Clearance here from Roger Storach. Speedy intercept anticipated here by Algeria, having Alilet managed to step in. Alan Okello, skipper, MVP and top scorer in the club football for Vipers Sports Club. One who's played his football in Algeria for Purdue. Knows a thing or two about what they need to do. They did lose to Algeria in the recent qualifiers, and as captain, he did point out the fact that they made a couple of clumsy mistakes. Mistakes, says they ought to avoid tonight. Picking up the ball, out into the midfield, Alan Okello brought to the ground. Referee says no can do. Zakaria picked that up. As captain, he did point out the fact that they made a couple of clumsy mistakes. Mistakes, says they ought to avoid tonight. Picking up the ball, out into the midfield, Alan Okello brought to the ground. Referee says no can do. Zakaria picked that up. Algeria will not be rushed into anything. They are a team that knows how to do the job and just get it done. That's a goal kick. Lively start, one goal arguably can do the trick. They will beat their time and make the opening. Long cross up front to chase this one. There's a name. That ball is left to roll out. That's a goal kick. Lively start from both sides. Anticipated to be Keji, Uganda, expected to have a compact shape. Question is, will they sit deep to defend, or will they look to exploit the home advantage and take the game to Algeria? Long searching ball. Looking to Anyama, able to get to him, and the ball is cleared away. Rodino, Chachini. Uganda in possession. It's the little trickster, Jonah Patrick Kakande. It's a little too enthusiastic, not in a rush at all, just taking their time. It's the opening salvo, so no need to huff and puff quick. Good pick up, Chetty. Back to Kezela. The skipper goes searching for Ayman's Maois. Easily ousted from possession here by the Uganda Cranes. Two young lads in that centre-back pairing. There we glance at Dr. Patrice Motsepe gracing this opening match here with his presence. And Maois easily ousted from possession here by the Uganda Cranes. Two young lads in that centre-back pairing. There we glance at Dr. Patrice. The Tri-Nations Tournament was literally just made his debut a few days ago. Although so 2 caps to his name, but also has a goal did score that goal on his debut in the Tri-Nations tournament that was held in Tanzania in the wake of this particular tournament getting underway. Long searching ball, looking to hack that in. Ball intercepted, cleared away. Zakaria Draoul is the man who was rushing forward to get onto that ball. Cheti loses possession. Jude Sabugabi steps in, plays the ball back. Uganda looking inspired and very confident at the moment. The ball intercepted, cleared away. Jude Sabugabi, player with Chitara Football Club, but has been the center of some hot transfer speculation, whether he will change his allegiance and take his services to Sudan. A couple of suitors there looking to get his signature. Jude Sabugabi, player with Chitara Football Club, but has been the center of some hot transfer speculation, whether he will change his allegiance and take his services to Sudan. A couple of suitors there looking to get his signature. This could be a good idea for him to put the notice out with some spectacular performances. Throwing for Algeria. Rogers, Okachi, Torach. Elias Cheti plays for USM Algiers. 30-year-old man from Annaba. Finally gets the ball thrown in. Rogers, Okachi, Torach. Takuwa spreads it out long, looking for Gideon Odongo. Passes it to Arnold Odong. Sports Club Villa youngster. Takuwa. Now emphasis from Torach. Alan Okello dropping deep to provide support. Loves to thrive in that free rein role. It's an opportunity set up here. This could be good for Algeria. Trying to keep it well within the perimeters of play. Cut back. Shot coming up. Still unable to get the ball away. Uganda living dangerously. A shot comes up, well blocked. And now can they spring a counter? Sending the ball long up front. Looking for support. Who's available? Trying to wheel themselves forward. Well within the perimeters of play. Cut back. Shot coming up. Still unable. Support there coming from Jonah Patrick Kakande. Long ball forward. Looking for Anyama. Emmanuel Anyama. Kakande. Played back. Confident touch there from Joel Serunjoji. Will play the midfield linchpin. Have to anchor that defense and may have to do better than that sloppy pass. Really miscued. Turning possession right back here to the Desert Foxes. Cheti. Adem. Joel Serunjoji. Will play the midfield linchpin. Have to anchor that defense and may have to do better than that sloppy pass. Really miscued. Turning possession right back here to the Desert Foxes. Cheti. Adem squares it through the park, looking for Meba. They're brought to the ground. Good play there from Zakaria Draoul. Zakaria, and that has 13 caps to his name. Last season was playing for MCLGS, 15 appearances and 1 goal to his name. Rahman plays it back to the defense. Cheti. All of the passes going through that left flank. Choshini is threading a searching ball, chested beautifully and kept in play. This is where they get pretty dangerous. Individual brilliance of the through pass is threaded in. Joe Matakuwa alert to that. Don't know. Choshini is threading in a brilliant ruler pass. Not much you can do about that. You just have to acknowledge fine talent that the youngster has. Foul here. Misala Merba fouled and a free kick given away. A little too enthusiastic from Emmanuel Anyama, the youngster that plays for KCC Football Club. Getting carried away. Adem Alilet. Reda. Goes searching. Aberno. El Ciocini. An attack sprung here by Zakaria. Joey is causing quite a bit. Reda. Goes searching. Aberno. El Ciocini. An attack sprung here by Zakaria. Joey is causing quite a bit of problems out on that right flank. It's definitely going to ask plenty of questions of Gideon Odongo. Joel Serunjoji now having to work double time. Uganda traditionally love to play a double pivot sitting. There's an end. Get to deliver this one. But Albert Diop, the referee, urging for Albert Diop, the referee, urging for competitive advantage. The ball is whipped in. Mutakwa punches the ball away. Headed back in. Not averting the danger, but ultimately goes over the line. I'm not so sure Mole Biekwas was very happy with that decision to punch. Joe Mutakwa, one of the more experienced players on the team at the moment, had lackluster showing in the first game of the warm-up tournament in Tanzania. Conceded a freak of a goal. We'll definitely have to up the ante as it is at the moment. Joe Mutakwa, one of the 4 players that was in Algeria. Joe Mutakwa, one of the 4 players that was in Algeria. The other 3 find themselves all starting on the bench. Algeria have a CHAN record that has many dripping with envy. 12 matches they've actually played in the CHAN tournament. They've only lost once in open play, and you would have to go as far back as 2011 when they lost to Sudan. In that period, they've kept 9 clean sheets and scored 14 goals. A mammoth task ahead for the Uganda Cranes. Throw in. Flank clear. Looking to set themselves onto a springboard here to attack, and Uganda will chase that ball down. The Cranes in possession. Looking for options on where to play that ball. 12 minutes played. Back clear. Very tactfully drilled Algerian side, and now there's a player on the ground. It's Reda Mohammed. Was clattered into by Anyama. Being a little clumsy. But that little definitely causing quite the bout of pain here now for Algeria. Reda still on the ground and might require some medical intervention. Was clattered into by Anyama. Being a little clumsy. But that little definitely causing quite the bout of pain here now for Algeria. Reda still on the ground and might require some medical intervention. These are Foxes that won all their group stage matches 1-0 against Libya, Ethiopia, Sudan in the last edition. Went to the knockout stages, eliminated Ivory Coast, then went on and knocked out one of the teams they'll face later on in this particular group, Niger, only falling to Senegal. And that, for his exertions, very youthful fellow, could get carried away by the occasion, but may have now to rein it in, lest that he puts the Cranes at a numerical disadvantage. calm, composed bench here for Algeria. No panic, no pressure. Only waiting for Reda to get back onto his feet. Olivier Kwaso, one of those that has been there, done that with the Uganda Cranes. A gentleman who is definitely one of the living legends as far as this squad is concerned. Former Premier League winner for the Uganda Cranes as well, both as coach and player. Now this is interesting. There's a VAR check ongoing. Looks like might be done. Might be done. Won't be of consequence. Restart here for Algeria. Might be done. Might be done. Won't be of consequence. Restart here for Algeria. Building from the back, Chetty inviting Abdelrahman into play. Zanein flips that ball all the way back to Ayub Ghazala. Skipper here for the Desert Foxes as the ball is flanked. Quarter of an hour gone, still goalless. Look of it going to Algeria. Yet to find a shot on goal. Won't have many opportunities, so when they do carve out the chance, they need to make it work. Quarter of an hour gone, still goalless. Adem from the center, clattering now into Abdelrahman Meizain. That's definitely going to incur the referee's attention. Was a little clumsy there from Enoch Sebagala. Another midfielder from Uganda Cranes. Plies his trade with Viper Sports Club. Just made the switch, yet to play for them. Played last season for National Enterprise Corporation Football Club. Algeria in possession. Adem Aliet. Plays for USM Algiers. Ayub Ghazala. Adem Aliet goes searching long onto the right flank once again. And Patrick Kakanda is going to have to put a bit more of a defensive shift in the game. That flank constantly getting pulled apart. And it looks to be the avenue that Algeria are seeking to exploit here. Just another look at that instance. Trying to set themselves up for a through pass. Arguably had gone a little faster than would have been required. Zakaria acknowledging the efforts there. Roy. Long restart. Looking for the head of Anyama that it actually found out. Jude Semugabi opting to pile more pressure now out on the left. And a hapless cross in the end from Gideon Odom. Not really doing much in that particular instance. Long restart. Looking for the head of Anyama that it actually found out. Jude Semugabi opting to pile more pressure now out on the left. And a hapless cross in the end from Gideon Odom. Not really doing much in that particular instance. Needed to hold on to that ball for a couple more minutes from Gideon Odongo. That end looked like more of a desperate attempt to get the ball away from himself. Zakaria or Halfire gets that started. Searching backline from Adem Ghazala. Alilet Adem looks to go route one. Composed play from the backline from Adem Gazella. Alilet Adem looks to go route one. Gavin Chizutobogweri plays a back pass that was clumsy. Wasn't watching the threat that was running right behind him. Nearly handing that ball to Belal. Okachi Choi. Throw in. Chetty. It's a hefty touch. Belal. Okachoy yet to get into his Chetty. It's a hefty touch. Belal. Okachoy yet to get into his stride just as yet. Uganda let off the hook here momentarily. Rogers to Rach. The man that had to put in a defensive shift. 19 minutes come and gone, still goalless. Algeria have had 2 shots not to be troubled at all. In East Africa, his last appearance in East Africa was for the club CS Constantine. Conceded twice in that CAF Champions League game. For the moment, not to be troubled at all. Ayo, Gazella, Ahmed Reda, Alilet. To spring it through the center, and it's successful. Now the Desert Foxes are in ascendance. Chetty providing the win. Not a good touch. That ball is left to roll away. Another goal kick. Long pass. Now to carry the ball out of the defense. Arnold Odong to be on a power run, but now they get the ball to Patrick Kakande. Back to the center of the park. Alan Okello wanted the ball. Alan Okello gets the ball. Jude Semugabi now. Possession. Serunjoji. Sebagala. Okello. Through pass. Anyama. Uganda Cranes win back possession. Brilliant spell of attack here against the crowd. Quite raucous behind them. Tees back. Center of the park. Gavin Chizito inverting. And now Serunjoji will fancy his chance. Clap of approval from the coach, Olivier Kwaso. That was off target. A very inspired sequence of play here from the Uganda Cranes. Algeria. Algeria looking to launch this ahead once again. Passing the ball on. And ball out front. Empty challenge. Then Alilet to watch for the wear and tear. Most recent time Uganda got to play with Algeria. Travis Mutiaba, who's now international, who said they had a stint in Bordeaux in France, opened the scoring in the 10th minute before a second half of Algeria 2 goals over here. Imens Maois. That Uganda will do very well to feed. Was part of the squad that played in Algeria as Uganda now look to attack. Jude Semugabi on the outskirt, chips in a delicate ball. Arriving is Kakande, fumbling in the box area. Opportunity, ball cleared, but not out of the danger. Jonah Patrick Kakande retrieves possession for the Uganda Cranes. Slipping it all the way back here to Gideon Odongo. Looks to launch a long cross. And instruction is pretty clear. Arriving is Kakande, fumbling in the box area. Opportunity, ball cleared, but not out of the danger. Jonah Patrick Kakande retrieves possession for the Uganda Cranes. Slipping it all the way back here to Gideon Odongo. Looks to launch a long cross. And instruction is pretty clear from Anyama. What did it do? Just Judson Mugabe. It's an exceptional setup there. Picked a pitch of a cross, but miscommunication. In the end, Uganda Cranes have an opportunity. First Lady of the Republic of Uganda. Also happens to be the minister directly in charge. A real scrappy moment. There was a needs must to get the job done. In the end, I'm done. The First Lady of the Republic of Uganda. Also happens to be the minister directly in charge of education and sports. Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni, popularly known as Mama, back here in Uganda. Here to witness the Uganda Cranes and Algeria duo. Checked it. Adem Alilet sets it up for the skipper Gezala. Very calm and very composed as they play. A few passes struck into those challenges. 5 fouls already running fully, and a man already in the book, none other than the striker Anyama, who at the moment seems to be feeling some exertions from a knock to the back of the head. Coming together, clash with Ayub Gezala, skipper here for the Desert Foxes. 28 years of age, plays for MC Algiers. Also in attendance is the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe. He's had, him and the entire team have had quite the whirlwind of activities. This particular tournament, the African Nations Championships, coming hot on the heels of closing of a very successful and quite entertaining Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco. Anyama in possession, drop the ball. Activities. This particular tournament, the African Nations Championships, coming hot on the heels of closing of a very successful and quite entertaining Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco. Anyama in possession, drop the ball. Algeria brilliant on the intercept, but unable to retain. Bit of a heavy coming together there between Bilal Lekachoy, Enoch Sebakala. Now back on here for the diminutive, fleet-footed Patrick Kakande. And trying to get the crowd behind them, Jonah Patrick Kakande, trickster extraordinaire. 1 minute you see him, 1 minute he's gone. Hasn't yet been given an opportunity to put his magic bag of tricks to good use. It's Judson Mugabe who plays it back to Gavin Chizito Mugwe. One touch to Alan Okello, popularly known as Starboy. One of the most exciting generational talents Uganda. Popularly known as Starboy. One of the most exciting generational talents Uganda has had in the last couple of years. Looking to control up in the midfield. A good one from Adem Aliet. Sets the ball in motion. Chess is on. There will be one winner for that one. Hyman's Mamios sets it up onto the flank, looking to cross. Controlled well, kept in play. Could be the opportunity. Set to the flank. Ball fails to settle well enough. And taken away. Uganda surviving by the skin of their teeth. Hyman's Mamios was hoping for that ball to settle well enough for him to do damage. Just wasn't to happen. Algeria back to the patterns, back to the routine. It wasn't to happen. Algeria back to the patterns, back to the routine. Looking to pass, looking to go. Route one in some sequences. Few instructions here from Mole Diekwaso Ochama, former Uganda Cranes International, played for KCCFC, Sports Club Villan Express, for tradition into management, where he's earned some acclaim for his youth development credentials. Did guide actually the Uganda clubs, a couple of Uganda clubs, as well as the national under-20 team. That was in 2021, going all the way to the under-20 AFCON final. Now he's in charge of the domestic players. Long cross, ball headed away. Mohamed Reda tipped back, picked up well. Go pass right down the center. That was a hefty challenge, and the referee will call hold to play. Referee making it very clear. Joel Seru Joji is now walking on thin ice. Ball headed away. Mohamed Reda tipped back, picked up well. Go pass right down the center. That was a hefty challenge, and the referee will call hold to play. Referee making it very clear. Joel Seru Joji is now walking on thin ice. Can't keep making those challenges. Restart. Just about 15 minutes left before the two teams will have to take an interval and change sides. Still a very cagey, as anticipated affair here. Bounce is on, still goalless. Just about 15 minutes left before the two teams will have to take an interval and change sides. Still a very cagey, as anticipated affair here. The Uganda Cranes have Enoch Sebagala taking possession. Kiyono Dongo. Del Rahmane is in Benta, one of those that was on the squad as well in Algeria. Man that plays for CR Belouizdad. The Uganda Cranes have Enoch Sebagala taking possession. Kiyono Dongo goes searching for Anyama. Anyama on his way forward. Very young lad, but instincts of a centre forward. May have to be a little less aggressive now that he's already on a yellow card. Zakaria ventures out of his box area. Held up well by Imans. Dios laid forward. Fixed in one way, then the other, going to the ground. Jonah Patrick Kakande keeps the move alive here for the Uganda Cranes. Little bit of frustration here from Beltracini. Pedro Beltracini frustrated here and applies it straight for CS Constantine. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball as he would want to. Little bit of frustration here from Beltracini. Pedro Beltracini frustrated here and applies it straight for CS Constantine. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball as he would want to. Nalan Okello retreating from the number 10 position, dropping deep, looking to fashion out chances. Semugali Jude. Bit of a coming together, and Semugali flops to the ground. Yama trying to urge the referee to hold play, and the whistle eventually doesn't stop it from hurting nonetheless. Uganda had an extensive period of training ahead of this particular tournament, about a month. Elias Chetty. Nothing premeditated, but still doesn't stop it from hurting nonetheless. Uganda had an extensive period of training ahead of this particular tournament, about a month and a half. That culminated into the CECAFA Tri-Nations tournament beaten by Tanzania 1-0, beating the defending champion Senegal by 2-1, for ultimately flying back home to get their tournament underway. Whichever way you look at it, their last two matches have come against the two teams that played in the finals of the last edition of the CHAN tournament. Looks like a blood injury, and now Senegali has to be withdrawn to be touched up by the medics before the game restarts. A little earlier there, we did see some instructions getting issued to Patrick Kakande and Storach. Algeria in possession. Storach. Algeria in possession. Pass forward, ball intercepted, nice back heel, trying to turn on the flare. Ball is quickly cut out. Enoch Sevaga. 10 minutes left to play in the first half of normal time. Uganda will have their defenders, their midfield having to earn their pay here. It's all hands on deck. Ball just couldn't get it past his marker. They do have a corner for their troubles. Corner kick. 10 minutes left to play in the first half of normal time. Uganda will have their defenders, their midfield having to earn their pay here. It's all hands on deck. Keeping a tight, neat pack. Ball whipped in, near post, and it's in! Into the back of the net. Ayub Ghazala, the captain, puts the Ugandans to the sword. And an unholy silence descends on the Mandela National Stadium. They went to sleep, the lapsing of the net. Little excitement on that bench, it's business as usual. And the Foxes put themselves to the front. There was dreadful defending from the Ugandans, poor communication on the near post. Two players coming to attack the ball, none committing. The end, Ghazala committing to the move, continuing to chase the ball, and got the right reward, planting the ball to the back of the net. Algeria 1, Uganda 0. Not much Joe Mutakuwa could do in that situation. His team was beaten, and Molivier Kwaso urging his team to stay switched on. They needed to communicate better. And now they have a goal. They are trailing by 1-0. Question is, how will they approach the rest of the game? Might be in their favor to keep it going. Ghazala, Ayub, skipper. Question is, how will they approach the rest of the game? Might be in their favor to keep it going. Ghazala, Ayub, skipper. Gentleman who over the last 3 seasons for MC Algiers continues to pop up with that one odd goal to take play and allow the was required, went for power over precision. The result is to send that ball far and wide. A decent attempt at there. Two players managing to open up the entire defense line of the Uganda Cranes. The decibels in the stadium have relatively dropped, a more muted audience. That goal having taken or knocked the stuffing out of the 12th man. Yet to find their voice. Two players managing to open up the entire defense line of the Uganda Cranes. The decibels in the stadium have relatively dropped, a more muted audience. That goal having taken or knocked the stuffing out of the 12th man. Yet to find their voice once again. Jonah Patrick Kakande unable to keep that ball in play. The ball goes over the line. That's a throw in. Gavin Chizuto Mugweri a little too heavy with the cross. "39 minutes, Algeria leading the game by a goal to nil. Set play turning out to be a very important aspect of the game. The free kick right by the center line. And here now very hefty discussions there. Sentamo, one of the strikers, having a discussion, a very animated one with Abdul Karim Matambala. Teammates at Vipers Sports Club. The free kick right by the center line for Algeria. Watching a long ball, well held up, drifting from one play into the center of the park. Nice hold up, Mesla Merba into the midfield. Control excellent. Eventually the ball drifting away, but still in possession of the Desert Foxes. Rahman Mezin skips away from one challenge, skips away. Ooh, timely intervention, but only to play the ball back to Chetty, who gets it on. Algeria taking their time, picking their spots, looking to exploit any weaknesses, any shortcomings, channel those balls through any disjointedness in the defense. Player on the ground, foul here. Referee looking to exploit any weaknesses, any shortcomings, channel those balls through any disjointedness in the defense. Player on the ground, foul here. One to the midfield linchpin, Joel Serunjoji, clipping at the heels or the ankles here of Bilal Bokachoy. Yellow card for Ken Joji, clipping at the heels or the ankles here of Bilal Bokachoy. Yellow card for KCC midfielder. Algeria definitely having a swell time here, no surprise. They do have a stadium. The last game they played was at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Baraki in Algeria. And now they seem to find this as exciting and welcoming as home. Just looking at how they put that ball away. Excellent technique from Ayub Ghazala, heading that ball down, looking to utilize that bounce. Always a difficult one for any goalkeeper to make any impact to save. And the skipper leading with example. 42 minutes of the game played. Uganda 0, Algeria 1. Uganda still looking for their very first opportunity. 2 minutes of the game played. Uganda 0, Algeria 1. Uganda still looking for their very first opportunity. Yet to have a shot on target. There's been very few openings for both sides. And to be honest, Uganda haven't even barely had a touch, or actually just had 2 touches in the box area. There's a foul here. Player on the ground seems to be in quite a bit of pain. The referee will have to summon the medics to get on to the continue. Through pass through the center of the park. They used to rout the Ugandans. Gazella with a brilliant lengthy pass across the length of the pitch. Now flicked out on his backside. It looks like all is well and we'll be able to continue. Through pass through the center of the park. only used to rout the Ugandans. Gazella with a brilliant empty pass across the length of the pitch. Now flicked out onto the flank for the on-running Mohamed Reda. Gets it on, and an opportunity here, but quickly closed down by Enoch Sebagala. And Maois is constantly finding himself shackled here by the defense. The disapproval of the Algerian fans in the stadium. Reda. Zakaria. Crossing. Header met. Not with the anticipated end. And Maois with a 360 turn, but technique pretty unorthodox there from Enoch Sebagala to win the ball in that sequence. Now gets onto the ball. Sebagala looking to spread the long passes. Has been the deep-lying playmaker here for the Uganda Cranes in this fast opening salvo. They look to get to Alan Okello, who's drifted to the flanks. Another of his natural positions whenever he gets a little stuffy in the midfield, tends to drift out wide as he does at the Vipers Sports Club. It looks like the national team will afford him the same free rein. Careless there from Roger Storach to allow the Algerian Desert Foxes pick up possession once again. On the front foot, Mezanin. There's confirmation from the fourth officials board. There'll be no less than 5 minutes of time added onto this match. Gideon Odongo plucking the ball from the clutch of Algeria. It's a second foul. Anyama making it clear that the captain Ayub Gezala is paying way too much unwanted attention to him. Long cross to the flank. Jude Semugabi. Anyama making it clear that the captain Ayub Gezala is paying way too much unwanted attention to him. Long cross to the flank. Jude Semugabi. Support from Gavin Chizito. Opts not to use it. Tries to thread it to Alan Okello. That was a little too heavy-footed. Touch not good enough from Semugabi. Gets the through pass, and once again it's a heavy touch. Well, that final third will need a little bit of more accuracy from the Uganda Cranes. They are creating... No, it's a mountain to climb for a team that knows how to win its games with just a solitary goal scored. As Kakande gets the through pass, and once again it's a heavy touch. Well, that final third will need a little bit of more accuracy from the Uganda Cranes. They are creating moments. Alan Okello jump-starting that move. It was actually Enoch Sebagala that jump-started the move. In the end, the through pass, Anyama and Kakande not on the same wavelength. Serun Joji count himself lucky the referee let that incident go. He's already on a yellow card. Intervention absolutely necessary from Roger Storach. Going taken quick. Algeria in possession. 2 minutes of the Mesala Merba. And a brilliant slip pass here, and Zakaria could be leading the attack here. Chance to pick across, cuts it back. Nobody arriving. Still an opportunity. Skipping one way. Chetty looking to keep the move alive. Gets the cross in. Nearly caught the goalkeeper, Joe Mutakuba, having moved off his line. Semugabi picks it up. Counter-attack is on for the Uganda Cranes. Slow at releasing that ball. Does Alan Okello have the legs to keep it on? Yes, he does. In a myriad of players, Tuanyama tries to force the issue going through the center. Well, that was always going to be a little more difficult than he thought it would. The Uganda Cranes still have possession. Okello celebrated his birthday a couple of weeks ago. Alan Okello, jolly as is known at times. Now picks up a free kick. Have to stack the deck, Uganda, right now. Looking to go one way, then the other. The shimmy, catching Bilal, Mokachoi, Anna a couple of weeks ago. Alan Okello, Jolie, as he's known at times. And now picks up a free kick. Have to stack the deck, Uganda, right now. Looking to go one way, then the other. The shimmy, catching Bilal, Okachoy, unawares, and causing him to foul. So it's a free kick for the Uganda Cranes. Two-man wall. Rahman, Rizani, and Bilal Okacho forming the bulk of it, and the ball is threaded through. Now we got touch here for Arnold Odom. Well, that would be quite the start to his Uganda Cranes career. Looked to have gone a little early and would have still been offside. 5 minutes of play. Play to a 2-2 draw against Mauritania in one of their warm-up matches, and a loss to the youth of Al Sura. 1-0 it was. All that has not taken the gloss. The two stadiums where they played their last 2 games. Here, it's home away from home for them so far in the first 45 minutes of play. Play to a 2-2 draw against Mauritania in one of their warm-up matches, and a loss to the youth of Al Sura. 1-0 it was. All that has not taken the gloss away from their precise mechanism of play. As cognizant of their abilities and as pragmatic as some German timepieces, skipping away from one to another. Now Seru Joji looking to force the issue. Kakande takes the shot from distance. Was no one to support out on the flank. Patrick Kakande decides to let it fly. Referee takes a glance at the watch. It could be the final bit of action, and yes it is. Final bit of the action here in the first half.
So it is 1-0 after 45 minutes of play. Tied, exciting game. We'll see what happens in the second half. Meanwhile, we'll take a first break. For halftime, we'll come back with the highlights. Tied, exciting game. We'll see what happens in the second half. Meanwhile, we'll take a first break. For halftime, we'll come back with the highlights from the first half. Algeria with the Gazelle go beating Uganda 1-0.
One of the biggest challenges my clients face is buying and selling a home at the same time.